Hey guys, I'm Mina with Sidewalker Daily, and in today's video, I want to talk about some red flags that you, the creator, the influencer, should be aware of when it comes to brand partnerships and brand collabs. Now, if you're new to our channel, welcome. I often like to call myself your secret weapon because I'm the person on the brand side. I work with brands on their influencer marketing campaigns. I hire creators like you for different sponsored content, and I also work with influencers and creators through a variety of different ways, which you can learn about on our website, Sidewalker Daily. Like, we have membership programs and courses and all that good stuff. So I'm literally in this space where I'm like working one-on-one with creators, but I'm also like working on the brand side. So I see it all. And one of the things that I'm noticing more and more is that as brands are entering the influencer marketing space, they're getting excited. They're like, we want to work with influencers, but there are shady things that are coming up. And this video actually stems from a conversation I have with a one-on-one client where she shared with me some really crazy things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to make a video. Out of confidentiality, I don't disclose who my clients are unless I have their permission. If you go to sidewalkerdaily.com and check out our success stories, you can see all the different creators that we've worked with. But for today's video, I will be confidential because I don't want anyone to get in trouble here, especially because the brand that the creator was telling me about, you know, the things that we were seeing, it was just like red flag after red flag after red flag. And what this video is going to help you, the creator, you know, or influencer, is really just realize you don't have to say yes, right? So just to put that on the table, when you are negotiating with a brand, when you are talking and trying to get to a happy medium, just because a brand pitches to you or you pitch to a brand or whatever, doesn't mean the agreement has to go through, okay? And this is the beauty of negotiating, and this is the beauty of being your own business owner. We don't have to say yes to opportunities that just come through the door. So let's start this video off with that, because red flags, I often say run, don't walk when you see them pop up. But of course, everything is case by case. Maybe you really want to work with the brand. And then, you know, you'll hop on a call and go through the things that you need changed so that you can make the partnership come to life. So I will be going through big things that have popped up, you know, especially inspired by the calls that I have with my creators on my coaching. One thing I do want to say before I jump in, just a few little housekeeping items here at Sidewalker. One, if you are an influencer or a creator and you're not part of our free resource library, if you haven't accessed it, you should, because it's full of amazing worksheets and things that you, the creator, can go in, read on your own, and self-study. So I'm going to leave a link below, my free gift to you, so you can get that all under control and like go through it, because it's amazing stuff. And I do want to say, in today's red flag video on brand partnerships and brand collabs, the last point that I'm going to share, I think, is something a lot of influencers have never even thought about. Okay, so make sure you stick around to the end so that you can hear what I think you may not even know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I think it can really help you in your creator biz. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, the first big red flag when it comes to partnering with a brand or having a brand partnership is that the brand doesn't want a contract. That is weird, and I'll tell you why. Because a contract should not be a scary thing, should not be stressful. It should actually be a document that you're like, this is great. It's gonna protect us. It's gonna make sure the deal, you know, works out. A lot of creators that go through my program, they end up giving the brand their own contracts, because they'll ask the brand, okay, what are the next steps? You know, we've negotiated, we've talked, we're all on the same page. Will you be sending over a contract? And sometimes brands are like, no, we don't have one, right? So the creators that come through my program, they end up sending their own contracts. Now, if you don't have a contract yet, you can go ahead and get one here over at our negotiations and contracts course. It comes with a template of a contract that you can send to the brands so that you feel protected and make sure that, you know, everything is buttoned up and sealed nicely. So I'll go ahead and leave a link for you so you can learn more about that. But if a brand doesn't want a contract, this is weird. This is a red flag. And it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? What is going on behind the scenes? A contract is meant to protect everyone. So I think if they're saying no, it automatically makes me feel like there's something not good or there's something shady going on. The second thing that is a huge red flag when you're partnering with a brand is when they don't want you to disclose, okay? What I mean by disclose is, when you're an influencer or creator and you're doing sponsored content for a brand, you have to tell your audience, according to the FTC guidelines, that this is sponsored content. This is because the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, wants you to be transparent with your audience and not make it look like you're promoting, a soap bar or whatever it is that you're promoting out of own goodwill, but because you were paid for it, right? And I think that's great. We want to be open. We want to be honest. You want to be honest with your audiences. But I think some brands just don't get it. They are like, I don't want you to disclose because it then feels like an ad and it feels salesy. Those are brands that don't really have a lot of experience in influencer marketing. They don't get that this is actually like a good thing to disclose, right? Not only because you have to, but because you want your audience to know that this is a partnership, that you're endorsing them, right? And if you have a good trust with your audience, they know that you're only taking good gigs and jobs and products that you actually like and that you would actually recommend. And that's why it's so important that you don't do a bunch of shady brand partnerships so that you don't diminish the trust that you have with your audience. So yeah, if they don't want you to disclose, huge red flag, run the other way. The deal can't go on. You have to disclose, right? So let's make sure that is in the fine print in the contract. Now, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit subscribe to our channel, hit that little bell so that you can be notified on all things influencer marketing, social media, and creator marketing. We release videos weekly on topics like this. So go ahead and click that little subscribe button. That's how you can support our channel. Okay, the other big red flag that I see oftentimes in brand partnerships is when the brand, God bless them, is super controlling and almost trying to control your tone and your script and voice. So here's the thing. I understand, because I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world, that they don't want the influencer to go off script and just say whatever they want. But the way I think it should be done is that the influencer should provide their own caption for review, right? So for a review, the brand has to review it and then see if that hits the target messages before it goes out. One of the biggest well-known brands in the world, and again, I'm under confidentiality, I can't disclose, but I've seen how they do their influencer marketing, and they literally want to write the caption for the influencer. And I'm just like, this doesn't work, right? This is not how it's meant to be. This is not how it should be. So I would consider it a red flag if a brand is not to say not giving you creative control, but just like not trusting you, because you should know what's best for your audience, right? You should know what works and what doesn't, and you need to come to the table and voice that. Get on a call, talk things out, be a professional. This is the type of attitude and mentality you as a creator need to take on to let the brands know, hey, this is what works and what doesn't. And again, everything is negotiable. You will learn that in my negotiations class. Everything's negotiable. So don't feel like just because a brand is reaching out to you that it has to be this way. Give yourself the courage and permission to negotiate on things that don't make you comfortable. That way it feels like a good partnership and a win-win so that you guys can move forward. Now, if you stuck around thus far, I'm gonna now talk about a point that I think a lot of influencers miss out on. And again, this is like a tiny little point that oftentimes goes it goes dismissed. And this is when we're talking about giving the brand ownership of original content and letting them reuse it and repurpose it without your permission. So what I mean, clearly defined, is let's just say you're an influencer like this and you give them a video. You give them a video of all the content. You don't know how they're gonna edit that content. You don't know how they're gonna make you look after the fact. It's almost like on reality TV, right? You don't know what the editors are gonna do afterwards. You're almost just like, I hope they edit me to be like, myself, but we don't know. So it's really important if, in terms of red flags, if you see this in your contract where a brand kind of not only wants to own the content, but they want to have the rights to do whatever it is that they want with it, that stresses me out. One thing that you could do is just ask for review or make sure that you're, kept in the loop. And again, our contract talks about this sort of information, so you can take a look at that. But to be honest, I just think that this is something that a lot of creators fall short on. They just give away all the content and then they're like, oh my gosh, why was this edited to look super weird and like something that I wouldn't have wanted to do in the first place, right? And this is why this video is all about red flags, because You may not want to move forward in a partnership if there isn't that level of trust between you and the brand. You do not have to accept any partnership you don't feel comfortable with. Nothing is ready until the dotted line is signed, right? So that's why that contract is important to protect all of you guys. I have a video all on influencer contracts, so you can go ahead and check that out. Like I said, I'm gonna link our contracts and negotiations course below, so you can also check that out. Trust me, if you're an influencer or a creator that is negotiating in brand partnerships, this course is going to teach you how to not leave money on the table, negotiate better, and it's going to walk you through all the things you need to know on the contract side, because it does get really tricky. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments what are other red flags that other creators should look out for, so that we can all learn from each other, and I will see you in the next video.